You're welcome back from that quick timeout. It's still Daybreak here on Trust Television, and we'll be taking you through the stories that made it to the headlines of our front page rather of our dailies. Now, starting off with Daily Trust, right there, flooding kills over 170 in 15 states, 107,652 hectares of farmlands, 80,000 houses destroyed. NEMA warns of severe incidents in September and October, and tinubu urges speedy action on environmental concerns. Still down there, we have contract scam. Kano governor orders closure of MDA's accounts. And on security, how in Abuja, how serving naval officer killed man stole his jeep. And on education, right there on the front page, federal government asked you to reconvene September 6th. Now we have on the top left, kidney harvest. Federal government suspends doctor accused in Daily Trust report. And there we have NCC set September 14th as final deadline for SIM-NIN linkage, September 14th. And then still on health, fresh diphtheria outbreak claims 40 lives in Kano. These are the stories we have right there on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper.
We move on now to the Guardian newspaper, and the major story there reads, fresh anxiety as federal government disconnects 50 million unlinked SIMs by September 14th. You have all the major players as far as the whole issue around SIM name linkages there, from the IG of police to the NCC executive secretary. To other stories, Kaduna, Bauchi, order residents to vacate flood-prone areas. Isn't that late in the day already? Currency in circulation hits 4 trillion, defies CBN monetary tightening measures. And NLC threatens indefinite strike as Ajero honors police invitation. Criminal Justice Act ineffective 7 years after NBA lament. And PDP crisis. But the judge advises, in parentheses, Atiku to contest presidency in 2031 at age 85. Are we not so much in a hurry? Those are the stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning.
All right, moving on to the next paper, we have Nigerian Tribune. Boldly there in front, Nigerians perplexed under Tinubu's government. Laments crippling hunger, runaway inflation, and unremitting insecurity. Fault profligate waste of resources, raised alarm over harassment of media, reiterates call for implementation of Orasanya's report. Still there we have what Adeleke is doing to power sector, digital economy and others, says the spokesperson. And on the front page, federal government to give legal backing to whistleblowing policy, Wale Edun says. And we still have make laws to give effect to court judgment on local government financial autonomy. I think we have a lot more stories there, but these are the few ones we're going to be taking on the front page of the Tribune newspaper. All
right, and we have joining us in the studio, as did promise last week, the editor-in-chief Dateline newspaper. No plenty stories. Please welcome Mr. Nasrullah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks
for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Let us start with the floods. The floods we basically are acting like it's a surprise that the floods are here again. We had early warning since February that we perhaps may be dealing with something even worse than we had the year before. As the Daily Trust succinctly captures this morning, it is ravaging across several states in the northeast and north. It has not even gotten to the north central, which is the epicenter of most of the destruction because of the low level of these areas. But what do you make of what appears to be the surprise reaction we are getting from some of the states?
Well, it actually shows the nature of our, response to disaster situations. I remember, just like you said, the warning started in February, and in April, the Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation did present the annual flood outlook, and he made it clear, during that presentation that they wrote a number of states, I think 31 or 32, detailing all the local governments, specifically telling them that these local governments are going to be affected. But here we are, rather than take action on what they have been forewarned, they are now like trying to, yes, but the problem is, we tend to worry more about, the response, because that in that instance we will have to be paying contractors to do certain things, and that's where some people are making their money. So no matter what warning we've been given, honestly, we fail to take action, and here we are, the people now paying the price for the government's inefficiency.
All right, now let's move on quickly away from that now. Still, but flooding is still a pressing issue that we keep talking about year in, year out, and we're actually looking forward to the day the government will be proactive on issues like this. Now, NCC set September 14 as final deadline for SIM linkage. We saw the whole drama that ensued the first time when some people's SIM cards and their lines were blocked due to this whole thing. And we know that deadlines were being set previously, and we also know Nigerians have an attitude of not waiting till the deadline. So what are your thoughts on this new deadline, and do you see the same thing repeating itself again?
Well, it's not impossible, because this is Nigeria, and the problem with doing things like that is when you keep postponing the deadline, people will say, okay, let's wait. They will still postpone it again, and then before you know it, there will be rush, especially between September 10th and the 14th. People wait until the last minute to try to do these things, and we are the ones who have been complaining that, despite the fact that we now insist that people have to register to have their SIM cards to be operational, we still having issues with bandits making use of cell phones, and then we've not been able to address that. Now that the government is trying to, make sure everybody does the right thing, we'll end up rushing at the last minute. I think the government should just go ahead. I think we have been given enough time, to go and do it. I remember, but one thing I want the government to do is to make sure that those who have registered, are not caught up in this mess. Because I remember just last 2 weeks or so, I was among those who received messages to go and update when I have done that long ago. So honestly, the government should get its acts together so that those who have done it will not have to.
Absolutely, because what you'd see, I had similar experience, is that after showing up in their offices, because I tried to do the linkages on my own with all of those formats, and it showed that it was successful, only to receive text message again that I am not linked. So I took the pain to show up, only for this front desk officers to say, you don't seem to have a problem with your SIM. So you keep wondering why somehow you get molded up in all of that messaging around. You wonder whether they even have the right information around how many lines are truly registered or not. But I hope there are ways we could deploy, we could approach this in order not to cause chaos. I mean, if you have 50 million outstanding, what stops from doing limited restrictions? We have that with the banks. If you have KYC issues, they will continue to allow money coming to your account, but you can't have access. Or you can't have access beyond a certain threshold. And so if you're frustrated by that limited access, you show up and do the right thing, rather than just cut off 50 million in one fell swoop. Afenifere this morning is saying Nigerians are perplexed. I'm not sure. Well, it sort of captures what it is. But are they not saying something that is obvious? Is the presidency surprised at the reactions of Nigerians towards this policy at this time? What's your reading of the president's body language?
Well, not only Afenifere, so many people are actually talking about that. Even the former presidential spokesperson, Olusegun Adeni, actually did that today. That's the back page of today's this day. So honestly, the president is doing one thing, and then Nigerians are, what we are expecting from the president, honestly, we are not getting it. That's just the basic fact. We are being told to make sacrifice, and if you look at it, it's only the people that are now at the receiving end. If you go to the states, all the tiers of government, they're not making any sacrifice. They're getting new vehicles, they're getting new presidential jets, they are making allowances for themselves, all sorts of things, when we are being told to make sacrifice. So what Afenifere said is actually not new. I hope they are not just realizing what Nigerians have been experiencing long ago. But now that they are coming out to say this, I hope the president will also use this as a springboard to, act, because so many people will say, despite the fact that he has been talking about, I will act,
and he feels that pain.
He has failed to do that. Just take a look at what is happening to the Orange report, for instance. After 7 or 8 months, you are now telling Nigerians that there is no even date for implementation of that report. So honestly, the government should worry about all the things that Nigerians are expecting, which are not happening.
Well, let's talk about moving forward. The way you read that story from The Guardian, and you had a very funny comment at the end of it. Now let's talk about moving. Look, other countries are looking at having younger presidents and younger leaders, and here we find somebody advising the man to contest for election. Bode George advised Atiku to contest presidency in 2031 at 85. I mean, what does that say about our clamor for not too young to run? We need fresh leaders, we need fresh minds. I mean,
that's actually a tongue-in-cheek statement, because what he was actually saying that it's the turn of the South, to produce, that's for the PDP candidate to emerge from the South in 2027. So if Atiku is insisting, because in 2027 Atiku will be 81.
That's right.
And if he's insisting that, he will run for president, he has to wait until 2031 when he will be 85. And then he also advised the former vice president to borrow a leaf from the US president, because of age-related issues. He had to withdraw from the race and then support his former running mate to now become the flag bearer for the Democrats. So honestly, I think it's for Nigerians to decide. If the PDP thinks, because constitutionally nothing stops you no matter your age, as long as you are above 18, I think 20-something or so, you can contest for the president. So if Nigerians think they want a president that is 80 or 90 or even 100, so be it. Let it be fair. If Nigerians want it, they can do it that way. But I also believe that we should borrow a leaf from all these developed nations. I'm not saying if you are old, you cannot do anything. No. But the fact that, what the office demands, people that should be in retirement, honestly, I don't know why we have to retire like our best, civil servants at the age of 60, and then we are now hiring somebody, at 80. Honestly, I don't think that's a good thing to do.
It's amazing. Yeah. Ajero will be showing up at the police headquarters. There were statements yesterday for Nigerians to accompany and occupy all police divisions across the country, and probably demands that he's treated fairly and released afterwards. But what do you make of what appears to be I don't understand how to describe what is going on between the Labour right now and the Labour and the Nigerian police force. First, they said they showed up at the office by mistake. They were meant to be somewhere else, and then suddenly, from going somewhere else, you are now charging somebody for treasonable offense. But what do you make of this approach by the Nigerian Labour Congress with regards to the invitation of Ajero?
Well, first with the police, let them be transparent. If you have any indicting, evidence against this man, present it so that Nigerians will see. But if, like, they are now accusing the police of doing, it's just something that they want to, stop the labor people from embarking on, strike, from confronting the government and things like that. Honestly, it's not good for the image of the police. But then the labor also, what stops Nigerians are being invited every day to appear before the police or other security agencies to explain certain issues. Why should the one with the Labour president be different? If he has anything to present to the public, let him do that. If he knows that he doesn't have any skeleton in his cupboard, like Nigerians will say, I think he should make himself available and then respond to all the issues that are likely to come up from the police. But to now say that you will go to the police divisions, this is like intimidating the police from taking out its lawful, activity. Because they are like empowered by the constitution to do all this. But like I said, they should make it transparent so that Nigerians will know that there is nothing that is being done behind the scene to try to implicate him.
All right. Diphtheria killed about 40 or so in Kano. I mean, we seem to be dealing with so much. It is diphtheria in Kano, it is monkeypox in some other place. We are barely out of the waters with cholera. Which other public health concern do we have going on there? What do you make of the response of our government with regards to some of these viral diseases that seem to be taking over our community?
Well, I remember what the accusations against local governments in Kano not long ago, that, you know, they were giving 10 million naira monthly to one nondescript agency to supply drugs. And then here you are battling with diphtheria, something that you can actually fight with antibiotics, with vaccines, but we are not doing that. What we tend to be doing is anytime there is money to share, anytime there is money to give out, you know, in form of contracts, we are all over the place. But this is something that we can do with better information, better publicity. You know, certain things that the people do are actually responsible for some of these diseases that you see, because people now live side by side with all sorts of things. If you are publicizing, sensitizing them, honestly, I don't think we'll be here today.
All right. Madam Nasir this morning has spoken like a public health physician. The advice are just spot on. And that is what you get with him every other week when he shows up here. Thank you very much, as always, for finding time to join us in the studio and provide that deep and enlightening perspective on issues that made it to the front page of the paper. And that will be a wrap for us on Daybreak this morning. Until we come your way again, I am Sunday Michael Ogo.
Thank you so much for joining us. I am Lilian Ogazi. Do well to stick around. At the top of the hour, we'll have sports, and then we'll also have the business, and then the news updates. We have a lot for you. Don't go anywhere. I am Lilian Ogazi. Thanks for watching.